me, a crazy black man trying to invent history for us. Most European Egyptologists who've studied African languages, including Sir E.A. Wallace-Budge, who was the Egyptian curator of the Egyptian artifacts at the British Museum, he'd be the first to tell you, even though he's dead now, that the ancient Egyptian language was a black African language. So people who've looked into this subject for themselves, without the blinkers of racism, have come to very similar conclusions, whether they're black people or white people. It's not about being prejudiced against anyone, it's about reclaiming the facts of our history. So what about in relation to Europe? When did the first black people come to Europe? Anyone know? How did black people come to Europe? In the 1600s? Any advance on 1600s? Probably about 30,000 BC? Possibly. We're not going that far back, but that's an interesting point. Well, more specifically, in fact, let's just show the next slide, please. Anyone know where in the world this picture's from?
Spain.
Not Spain. Why did you say Spain though? Because you said Spain for a reason.
Because they built a civilization there as well.
Yeah, because Africans invaded Spain, which we're going to get onto, and controlled a lot of Spain, the Moors. This is actually from Scotland in the 10th century. This gentleman on the right, who you can quite clearly see is very black, this gentleman was a Scottish knight, and he was a governor of his province in Scotland in the 10th century. And there were several other knights just like him all throughout Scotland and throughout Europe. And they were part of different groups of Africans that came into Europe throughout the centuries. The most significant group of those, can we see the next slide please? Were these gentlemen. Anyone know who these gentlemen are? Louder please, come on, you know. Why are people mumbling under their breath? Louder, who are these gentlemen?
Moors.
Brilliant, who are the Moors? Yeah, absolutely. North African Muslim population that they conquered Spain in the 7th century. And what's very significant, very interesting about the Moors is that many of the concepts we take for granted today in Europe, these people brought to Europe. So the number system you count with every single day, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, was invented in India and brought to Europe by these gentlemen. So when you go to maths class, and I hear you say, no, but we're just not good at maths, or whatever it is that you say, I do workshops sometimes and you say, someone will get something wrong. I'm not being horrible, this is the truth of some of the behaviours that many of our young people have come to associate with their skin. You're so black, man. It's true. Am I lying? That's what you say, right? Someone does something wrong, someone ain't good at something, someone can't use the English language or do maths wrong, we say, you're so black, man. But the mathematical system you count with every single day was brought to Europe by these gentlemen. Algebra is an Arabic word. Why? Because these guys spoke Arabic and they brought algebra to Europe. Guitar is an Arabic word. Why? Lemon, coffee, tobacco. These are all Arabic words because these gentlemen introduced those things into Europe. So really you should reverse it, and whenever you act like he's not good at algebra or math, you should say, why are you acting like you're not black for? That's really how you should write it. That's not to say that no one else isn't good at maths. It's to say that how can you not be good at maths when you descend from this? So we need to start reversing the psychology of what we associate with that word. Because for a far longer period of your history, you've been doing things like this than some of the results of oppression that we see today. Can we have the next slide, please? Anyone know who this chap is? Louder, please. Where's that voice coming from? What's your name, bro? Louder. Sorry, I can't hear that. Can someone tell me what his name is? Demiso. Big up. That is indeed Saint Maurice. Saint Maurice was worshipped as a saint all throughout Europe in the 1500s. This particular picture is from Germany. Interesting. Black people worshipped as saints. Next slide, please. I don't know this gentleman's name, but I just thought it was a very beautiful picture. And he was a nobleman from Austria. This again is 1400. You know, he's not a slave, no chains on, none of that, no loincloths. Very interesting. Next slide, please. Anyone know what this is?
Ethiopian church?
Ethiopian church, yeah. It's an Ethiopian church called Lalibela, which is built downwards. They didn't build upwards. They dug down into the ground and literally carved a church out of the land. Does that make sense? Can we see the next slide? Anyone know where this is? Zimbabwe, great Zimbabwe. We're starting to get a general picture here that it's not just ancient Egypt. And actually Sudan has 3 times as many pyramids as Egypt. I should have brought a picture of that. But Sudan still today has 226 pyramids. 3 times the amount of ancient Egypt. So this isn't just restricted to one part of Africa, one period of time. This is quite a consistent thing that we're seeing. This is Zimbabwe. We just saw Ethiopia, that church called Lalibela. You can still go and see this stuff. Can we have the next slide, please? Anyone know what this is? Where this is? Louder, please. Benin, big up. Benin, West Africa, Nigeria. This is a drawing, I believe it's a Dutchman that drew this drawing, of not the village, not the town, the city of Benin in medieval times. And in fact, medieval Benin, the Great Wall that was around the city is in the Guinness Book of Records, I believe it's the 1976 edition, as the largest earthworks carried out in the world prior to the mechanical era. 10,000 miles of city walling, ancient Benin had their city. So not loincloths, not savagery, not chucking spears at each other. And this is right in the heart of West Africa, where the stereotypes come from, right?